here. Now, the next story is another story from the country area, and this is a case of sell the farm and move to the coast. Let's welcome Desley and her daughter Nicole up here. You got a few platinum friends in the front row making a big noise. Okay, so we say here from Scrabble Pro to Property Pro. What's the go with that?
Well, when you live on a farm and there is nothing else to do, you go to the neighbour's house. After you've done your housework, which, get done by 10 in the morning, you go and play Scrabble all afternoon, have a few coolies, wait till the kids get home on the bus.
Oh, is that what happens in the bush?
Yep. Murray did let me on the tractor once.
Okay, and you crashed it?
No, I ploughed out the whole crop.
Oh, no.
I thought I was doing well. I'm driving down the crop going, oh, this is great, And turned around when I got to the end of the row, and 1.5k of the best cotton we ever had was ploughed out.
Oh, no.
On the main road.
Oh, no.
That was the end of your tractor career.
Yeah, I was never allowed near the tractor again.
So you were relegated to Scrabble?
Yes.
Right, okay. So what prompted the wholesale of the farm? Sick of it?
Yeah, I think that we're Murray's fourth generation, and it was just drought after drought, and I was there over 30 years, and I think we had two good crops the rest of the time. You'd plant something and hope it would grow. It cost like 200,000 plus to plant it, and we got into huge debts because there was no crops, it just didn't rain. And Murray was stressed. I've only just recently found out how stressed, because he would never let on to us. He always kept it very close.
Typical farming male, bottle it all in.
Absolutely, they do keep it very close to them. And so we just got to the stage when it was a family farm and everyone agreed that it was time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we sold, and we thought it would take a couple of years to sell, but the next day Murray called some of the neighbours and it sold that day. And then we're like, okay, what do we do now? So, that was it.
And I like your quote about that leaving a farm to your children is the equivalent of child abuse. Just saying it there.
We want our kids to go through what we went through.
Thanks, Mum.
So you moved to the sunny coast?
Yeah, I love the Sunshine Coast. Best place in the world. I was there, actually.
Great place you bought there, about 5 k's down the road from me.
I did.
We didn't know at the time, no.
Yeah, we had 4 days actually to buy a house because I was working, and my boss said, look, I can't let you have any time, and so we took the weekend and then the Friday and the Monday, and we had to buy a house then because it was the only time we had.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you bought a little property. How many acres you got there?
It's only 1.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's a hobby farm.
So Dad freaked out about that.
Yeah, he does things like burns tyres in the backyard. I keep saying,
That's where the fires are.
Sorry.
Okay, so you got a swag of money now, sitting in the bank from the sale of the farm, and no income.
Yes, it was very scary, and we were chewing through it quite quickly because when we left the farm, all of our furniture was 30-something years old, 4 children later. You could imagine what it looked like. So
Perfect condition.
we burnt it all.
Had a big fire.
Farmers like burning things.
Or blowing them up.
So we get to the house, we're on a blow-up mattress and 2 plastic chairs.
Okay, so a lot of money's going out. So how did you end up with I Love Real Estate?
Well, we went to a financial advisor, and he said, well, put it into manage investments and shares, and I just didn't feel right with it, even though I didn't really have anything to do with the farm, how it was run or anything like that. I just thought shares can not be there the next day. So, and we both like property. I don't know where that came from, but we just wanted something you could touch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just looking on my Facebook one day, and I saw this beautiful blonde woman come up. And I'm going, well, what is this? And I pressed on it, and it had this. I said to Murray, do you want to go to this? And he's going, I just want to go to my shed.
So I got usurped for the shed.
Yeah. So I booked VIP tickets. I paid money, so he said, all right, I'll have to go. So we went along and had a listen, and being on the farm, there's a lot of pressure with losing things.
Yeah.
We became very close to losing the farm a couple of times. So as soon as Dipner started talking about asset protection, Murray was sold. So we went and joined up to Ultimate straight away, and then within 30 days, Quantum, because I'd never bought a house or a property or anything. I went from my parents' house to the farm to the house on the farm. So I didn't really know anything about it. So we really needed all the help we could get. And we went to the boot camp in September 2016. And then I said to Murray, I want to join Platinum. And he goes, you can't spend that much money. Anyway, I signed up and I didn't tell him.
Which I highly recommend. If you want to get these results, you just got to take action. Don't be procrastinating out there. Don't be making excuses.
Anyway, after that boot camp, Murray said, oh, wow, this sounds fantastic. How about you do that? So I talked to Nicole and we just thought we'd do it together because...
I impulsively put it on my credit card. I was like, Platinum will save my life. And then realised that I actually needed your help a lot more than I thought.
Okay, so you guys joined Platinum together.
Yes.
And really, nothing started until you joined Platinum.
Oh, gosh, no.
And you were coming from no experience, not managing the finances, not managing the money, not having anything to do with any of that, to now, well, it's your problem now. I'm going to the shed.
Yeah, Murray said, look, I've done all this for all of these years. How about you have a go?
Okay.
to the point where Desley hadn't paid any bills, so not trying to, but starting from a position at your age, never had paid bills, never had to be responsible for finances, to then come into Platinum, God love them, and then face the process. So yeah, amazing.
It was a big steep learning curve.
It was, because all my responsibilities...
Okay.
My responsibilities was buying food and clothes for everybody. I hadn't paid electricity bill.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So you had to take over the whole responsibility. So you work with Tamara.
Yes.
Obviously sitting down for that blueprint. How long was your blueprint, just as a matter of
3
interest?
days.
3 days.
But she goes through everything in so much detail, and because the farm had so many complicated things involved in it, but it had to be done. Like, Mum had to learn from the start everything that was going on with that and how to move it all over. Yeah, without Tamara, we would have just no hope. So, cheers.
Yeah, a lot of people, yeah, exactly. Like, without going to Platinum and having Tamara there, we wouldn't have been able to ask her what to have for dinner.
What was that? I missed that. Sorry, I was listening to the phone call there.
A lot of our conversations, like, I'm sure Tamara is brilliant. She can talk at this level, and then our level, which was, what are we having for dinner? We didn't know where to start, and she's absolutely brilliant, along with Dee, because I didn't know what to do, hey? It was just like...
Nicole's been scared of me for a number of years.
That's why I'm standing on this side. I had to go say hello before coming up here. They're like, just pretend you're talking to Dee. I'm like, oh my God, that's scarier than the crowd.
So this is how you felt, hey?
Oh, yes.
There was a lot of that. There was lots of conversations around the dinner table where we're like in tears. We're like, should have given everything to the managed investor, and then back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, Murray was great. I just quite a few times I went back to him. I said, "Can we please go back to that manager, that advisor?"
And he encouraged you to move forward.
He said, "No, too late."
Yeah. Okay. All right, so this was your starting position, very healthy, as you can see. Cash reserves are dwindling as we speak, sort of thing, at this stage.
Yes.
You'd bought your home. You did have money in super, so it was easy for you to invest through the super fund as well.
Yeah, Clint set up all of that super stuff for us, so we didn't really have any idea. You know those 3 words you say, get market ready?
Yeah.
You should say, get market ready.
Get
this
market
much.
ready.
Emphasise it a bit more because it's
okay.
like, oh my goodness.
I'll
the
put
stuff
it in
you've gotta
bold
do.
next
Yes,
time, shall I?
please.
Okay.
It took a long time. And the paperwork, I'd never signed anything in my life. And they're sending this. I said, do I have to sign? What do I have to sign this for? So it took a while, but the professionals have been fantastic. You know, I ring up and they go, yeah, Desley, what can I help you with today?
Okay, so the first one was a little commercial.
Yes.
And the commercial, you know, you're looking for cash flow because you've got to have money to live on. I mean,
Yep.
you've got your home now to live in.
Yep.
That's done. You don't owe any money on that.
Yep.
Your main concern is I've got to create an income that we can live on without diminishing our capital.
That's correct. Yeah.
And quickly.
And quickly.
Yeah.
Because the bank balance was dropping.
Yes.
So you
very
had to
quickly.
buy things with a reasonable amount of income already.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's really for a super fund when you're getting past you're getting close to or past the 60 age. It needs to look like that. It needs to be high cash flow because that's what's important. It's not how much it grows because the growth in a superannuation fund, the only good it is to you if you sell it. Whereas because you can't borrow against, you can't do any of those other things. So it's all about income.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
what you chose was some storage sheds. I remember talking about this at Platinum.
Yeah, we did talk to you about it. It was such a huge thing for us because I wasn't used to spending any money at all, and something that's worth, more than $200, I was scared to buy. But yeah, chatting with you was absolutely fantastic. We went through a lot of things. It's in Townsville, so Townsville wasn't really doing that well. So we actually were able to buy it at a really good price. It's starting to pick up now. There's only 10 sheds left to rent out. So
Great.
that's really good. And it was
And a positive cash flow there of 33,000, and that was on purchase.
correct.
So
Yep.
it's more now.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's up to about 40 or something now. So
Great.
yeah. No,
Excellent. Well, that's a nice start at least. We're getting there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was great.
And that would have given you some confidence too.
It did hugely. Yeah. We bought going through actually signing a contract
And going through a
talking.
feasibility
Yeah.
and set of accounts
That's
and
right.
all of those other things which,
Yeah.
Tamara would have had to hold your hand through all of that process.
More like cradle carry. But half the hand, it was all of it. And there was a few deals before this, like lots of working up to get to this point before we ended up buying this one.
And then you
fell
pulled the
through
pin.
and fell through.
Yeah.
And that's actually just as important, going through the process and going, no. Going through the process and going, no. That's just as much learning and just as important as going through the process and go, oh, look, this one works. Because, you don't want to be just jumping at the first one necessarily.
No,
And
we looked.
I remember us having a long conversation. You found a cracker of a deal, and we went through it, and it was just going to be amazing. And we go, yes, let's go. You need to get off the phone, stop talking to me, go and put a contract on it. So, of course, I always say to my students, text me, give me an update, where are we at? And then I got a text the next day to say somebody else is put under contract. And you just go, after all of that effort. And, we were so set that was a fantastic deal. And it would have been so easy for you just to have coiled back and gone, this doesn't work, it's all too hard. That was before this one. But, you've just got to keep going. You just got to know that there's
Resilience.
a reason why, even though that one looked amazing, the next one's going to be even better. And credit to you both. You got up and kept going. And, okay, what are we going to do tomorrow? Go and look for the next deal. And you just kept powering on, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So you've gone from a $800,000 asking price and you got it for $455,000. That's a pretty good negotiation.
Yeah, there was.
You've been wheeling and dealing cattle, haven't you? On the side, I know.
That's right. Yeah, dealing with something. Scrabble.
Scrabble. Oh, you bet on Scrabble, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. They've still got the books back to 1984, I think, of who was winning.
So great negotiation there to get the price down.
They were fighting, the owners were fighting, and they really just wanted to get out. And because Townsville was a bit on a down, they just really wanted to get out. So, so we just sort of threw out that offer and they said yes.
Very good.
So don't forget to negotiate, guys.
So then you've gone from a $455,000 purchase, which was freaking you out,
Yep.
to a $2.88 million one.
Fast learner.
This is really out of our comfort zone. We only had a certain amount. We were looking for a property about $1 million.
Yep.
And then, which would have actually locked us into how much income we would have had forever. And a friend of ours actually had this under contract for 2.8, and he was having trouble with the bank. So he flicked me an email and he said, oh, maybe just put in an offer on this, because this is also another warring couple. These guys were getting divorced and they just wanted to get out as well. So I sent in an offer, and Murray was a bit embarrassed. I said, oh, well, we were taught, thank you, Tamara, to just throw in a softball offer and to see what happens.
So what was your friend's offer on it?
2.8.
2.8. So
Yeah.
asking 2.8. So
Yeah.
so what did you get it for?
2.325.
That's a cool $500,000 right there.
Exactly, yeah. Well, we were able to afford it at that. We wouldn't have been able to buy it at 2.8. So, yeah. So talking about colours that stab you in the eye, that's what we've just painted it to look like.
Okay. So this is in your superannuation fund?
Yes.
So
Yep.
any of the income, because of their ages, it can move that into pension phase, and that's actually income tax free as well. So very nice.
Yeah, the guy's Clinton, Pacific Law. Yeah, great.
And leading up to this, so in terms of getting your structures in place, so as you were driving up to inspect the property, on the phone to Pacific Law to set up the structure, and then high-level negotiations back and forth. I mean, the team that you had around you was absolutely brilliant to pull it all together in very short time.
And you're
frame.
listening to my
Absolutely.
meditation on the way.
We are.
To calm down. The way it really went down was...
I hope you weren't driving at the time.
Oh, no, Murray was driving.
good.
Yeah, I was in the passenger
After the
seat.
tractor incident, no, drive.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum.
It's all
I'm
right.
now a truck driver, which is hilarious. But anyway,
Nicole couldn't back her Commodore 6 months ago.
that's true. But I probably wouldn't recommend putting Clint through that if you have the option.
No.
He was amazing, and same with the rest of the team. Like, they were on point through that whole
Yeah.
deal, and without having that team, I know everyone harps on about it, but it's actually the most important thing that you have is the people around you, the A team, who can help you through those really high stressful moments. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The reason it happened like that was I called the agent after I got the email, and he said, I said, can you hold, he said yes for the price. And I said, well, can you hold this for a week and we'll get up there? And on the last day of this week, he called, he said, I've got a Chinese buyer who wants to put a contract on today for 2.6. And I went and woke Murray up and I said, quick, we've got to drive up there now and get this contract done. So it was on the way up, it was Clinton.
Yeah.
It was Melbourne Cup, so Calvin wasn't there.
And that was a 5-hour drive, so it's not like,
Yeah.
we're just driving half an hour to the deal. That's
No,
Yeah.
7.5 hours.
7.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
how-
is that Murray?
That's my husband. He's in his
He's
happy
going-
place. He's in his shed.
So he's in a happy place. He's now got $130,000 passive income tax free. Is that
Yeah.
you skipping on the beach?
I love the beach, yes.
Oh, good on you.
did
Yeah.
a few shots to get that photo. Look how high she is.
We're trying to do the Toyota ad.
Oh, is that what you were doing? So obviously, team, big part of this, and that's why in I Love Real Estate it is about the community, which includes all of the professionals as well, and big support network, and they do a fabulous job. I mean, when things are we've got to do something about this, we're talking, they pull out all stops. Even some of my platinums, I've talked to them, Christmas Eve, and they're doing deeds up, and it's fantastic, but don't put that pressure on them. No. So more important things than real estate, your family?
Yeah, obviously everyone's family is very important to them. So, I'm doing this for everybody. Obviously, the main reason I'm doing it is because Murray's supported us for all of these years, and I just really wanted to make him proud that I could do something so that he...
And you have.
I just didn't want him to ever stress about not having money, because his stress level was so high for 40-odd years while he was on the farm. So, yeah, that's why I worked so hard and had you guys to help so much. And there's my little grandies in the middle.
Oops.
So
Go back one.
my little grandkids. So,
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That says to create a family legacy like Murray's forefathers, but I'm just going to take this opportunity to say the legacy that you're creating is showing me how to live my life. Like, I'm so proud of you. It's insane. You're the most awesome mum ever.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I can't believe what she's been through. Honestly, I'm looking at you, I'm like, wow, you're a rock star, and you're my
at me
mum.
crying.
Like, it's so awesome. Like, I know we can't choose, but if I could pick a mum, like, honestly,
You
you've
do.
been there. She's been there through all of this stuff. Our whole family. No one's there at the kitchen table. Mum's there by herself. Dad's down at the shed. Everyone else, I'm travelling the world because I'm a millennial, and Mum's sorting out the family. I'm so proud of her. Like, she is so tough, and all of our ILRE real estate family, all of our friends. Like, I'm looking across, I'm like, oh, you're not so scary. I know all of you, but yeah, I'm so proud of you, hey. Thanks.
And these guys have had a smile on their face from the very first day, and it's never left. Doesn't matter what adversity they face, what challenges, they always are just beaming, and yeah, it shines through in your results, and everybody can feel it. So beautiful.
Sorry, had the other shoes on.
So, I mean, you moved to the coast with no friends,
Correct, yeah, left everyone up there.
which means, joining I Love Real Estate,
Yeah.
the community, and then joining
Yeah.
Platinum, particularly, the very close community,
Yeah.
that has been your support network, that has been your friends.
So my friends are right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone. Just
You know how they joke, they're like, if you don't have friends, join Platinum? That's actually not a joke. That's serious.
It is.
You can buy friends. They're all in Platinum.
You're joining a club.
Yeah.
You think this is a cult, you wait till you get to Platinum.
I just would like to say one more thing about Platinum. We joined almost pretty much straight away, and seriously, without Platinum, without these beautiful women and the whole team, I would still be chasing my tail. I would be wondering what we would be doing, and I seriously don't know where we would be, because Murray's not. He's done. The farm, he's just out. So we needed something, and you guys came at the right time. I can't believe timing.
Always happens that way.
Somebody said to me the other day that when you need to learn a lesson, the teacher turns up at the right time, and that was perfect. So
Good on you, doll.
thank you so much.
So your learnings out of the process?
The learnings out of the process is just to definitely engage. Like, I'm going to as many one-dayers as I can too, because just hearing Dipna's voice, which I love, it just re-inspires again. And the Platinum, where you go every month, and then the 2-day conferences, and here, like, it's just, everyone is just so beautiful. You're not here by accident. You're here because you want to improve your life. There's so many people out there that are happy just to continue with what they're doing, and they can't see any better future for themselves. And I think that's all up to us too. Like, my plan now is Melbourne Cup, I was back up at the farm talking to my friends, and I've just started talking to them about this. Farmers need to get some off-farm income.
You're not kidding.
So what I'm going to try and do is to start small and get to as many farming communities as I can, because I want them. Can you imagine if all of our farmers had some off-farm income where they could buy food for their family and send their kids to school and not have that stress? I don't think we'd have the suicide rate that we've got.
You wouldn't.
And I just think that on the farm we had no access really to internet or whatever. So, and a lot of my friends out there don't even have phone service, so they wouldn't probably see Dipna pop up on their Facebook. So I'm going to try and get out there and spread the word for farmers to try and see that there's a way to have an income, because they've got the asset there, and the bank doesn't mind loaning you
I'd like
money.
to support you in that.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
I've actually worked with a lot of farmers' wives over the years, and it's been my mantra for a very long time, coming from the bush, that the off-farm income, particularly for the farmer's wife. Back in my old Wildly Wealthy Women days, I worked with a lot of farmers' wives to create off-farm income, so that the farm could operate on whatever it was, flood, famine, drought, whatever's going on, they were still okay. And I'm telling you, the suicide rate in the regional areas is awful, and it is mainly driven by financial insecurity and by the man in the family losing their soul by not being able to provide. and it is something that desperately needs to be addressed, and I would love to be part of that.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, my God. Oh, that would mean so much. I just want to tell a story, is that okay?
Okay.
Just a little story. Everybody knows the 4 big banks. I'm not going to name which one, but the one that we were with at the time, at one of the times,
They're all the same.
they are. The manager that was there, they came out to the farm every year to have a look and see what you're doing, check everything out. And anyway, we only found out a little bit later on that they were actually targeting certain farms that they wanted to buy themselves, and they were the farms that they weren't going to loan any more money to those farmers. And if farmers can't get any extra on their overdraft, they can't plant crops, they can't feed their animals. Our farm was targeted, and Murray and Wayne went to the farm, to the bank to get some more money, and they said no, and we were targeted. We would have been out with nothing, but we talked to some of our other farmers, and we ended up going to a bank called PIBA, which is a farmers type bank, and they took us on. And that was the only way that we actually kept the farm. And I've only just recently found out this. We've been off the farm for 3 years. My husband's only just starting to tell me stories about what he's been through.
What's actually happened.
Yeah, so that's why I needed to support him and, give him a chance to have a break. So there's all these things going on for farmers out there. We just need to help them.
You do.
Because farmers don't want handouts. Farmers are so proud. They do not want handouts. They want a leg up, which is possibly a way to get something to help them. Yeah.
Well done, Desley.
Thank you so much. It's been fantastic.
So here are your final figures. Obviously, you started well, but you started with no income, and that was your big burner. And at the ages we're at, it's not where you want to be with no income. No. So converting that to a cash flow, you've got to be careful. You've got to be really seriously careful as to what you put it into, because there is less time to make it all again. You're not going to sell another farm because there is another farm to sell. So you've not only increased your equity position by a further $1 million, but you've created $163,000 worth of passive income, which incidentally for these guys happens to be income tax free. Yay, just do it.
Thank you.
Give these guys a big round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Done.